Hey everybody, Sketch Card Hive here. How's everyone doing today? I appreciate you all coming out. We were going to have an exclusive interview with Alonzo, not exclusive, but because he's been everywhere. But we were going to have an interview with Alonzo and have him hang out and be on our collector series, our character collector series. But we're going to have that a little bit later today due to some unforeseen circumstances. So I got a little bit of a mail day here, and I also have a few other things to talk to you about. And I thought it would be really cool to actually do some live hunting. Go on eBay, look at some other sites, and I think it'd be really fun to kind of chill here and do a character hunt and basically build a character collection for Marvel cards. And I figured we would take some of the suggestions of the people in the comments here and kind of look at different cards and think through what are some of the more rare ones, what will be some of the extra hurdles when collecting a character, and kind of do some live character chasing. We might have a few people drop in. I don't know if anybody wants to drop in. Melfi, you're welcome to if you want to, brother. I can send you the link if you want to come in and hang out. We can go ahead and do that as well. Have some guests on here and have some fun. Let me go ahead and send you a link. But no pressure. I know you guys are probably busy doing stuff today, but I think it'd be kind of a fun episode. Okay. All right. So we are live and we're going. So we can go ahead and start on the mail day I have. I have a little bit of a mail day here. So we can go ahead and do that. Kind of avoid giving off. Hey, Sinister. Actually, I have to have you on here too, Sinister. Maybe this week. I'd like to get a few of these out and put them up once a week. So hit me up, Sinister, when you're free this week. Get Doctor Strange. We'll do Alonzo later today. You get a few more people up here. So we got a couple of random things here. So we'll see what these are about and try not to give you guys addresses of people so you can hunt them down. This is from this person. Whatever that is. There you go. Let me know in the comments down below. Retroverse, hey buddy, I gotta have you on here as well. Gotta get a bunch of you guys up here. Can you guys see this in reverse, or do you see it regularly on your side? Or you can read it? Let me know. My boy Doom in the house. I'll let him prepare. Thank you, brother. So just let me know if you can see this reversed or regular, and I can fix that on screen. But let's go ahead and look in here. Let me get in my boy Doom. Hey, William, what's up, man? Doom.
What's up, man?
Hey, buddy, you there?
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much for jumping on with me, man.
Yeah, sure.
All right. So just doing a quick mail day. And then I wanted to go ahead and also do a kind of like a live hunt for a character.
Oh, okay.
So like if someone in the chat has a character, let me know. Someone unknown, if you give me Spider-Man, you should leave now. But someone easy. And we can go ahead and do a little hunt on eBay and see what's going on. Okay, so here's a little bit of a mail day. So there's this.
Oh, wow.
Which is really nice. I have one of these already. These have a common damage to them. So we're going to see if I got lucky or not. And see if I got screwed on this one. Because right now I have 3 of these or 2 of these, and I have to sell one to my buddy Miles.
Okay.
And
Miles, the one we know,
Miles. Our Miles.
What's Miles doing with that, huh?
You know what Miles is doing. Miles always plays the game. Miles knows. He's a sick one, that guy. So it has a stamp, so we know it's authentic. It's a beautiful deep blue signature. I'm really happy with that. Corners are actually pretty nice. The surface is actually really, it's okay. It's not the best. It's better than an 8.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's better than
the stamp
an 8.
is really, really cool on those.
The stamp is really cool, really visible. And basically what I'm doing now is trying to get the light on the cardboard to see if there's any dents.
Mm-hmm.
because that's the way to do it. And I don't see shit. So I think we got really lucky. Who knows what it's actually going to be? It's better than an 8. I just need it to be a 9 for that blue label. I actually do think it looks really good. Does it look regular to you over there, or is it flipped?
Like, no, it looks regular. Yeah,
it looks regular.
Yeah.
On my screen, it's flipped. That's a weird thing.
What's up, Retro?
Retro. Okay, I'm happy with that. I'm actually really happy with that. So, off to CGC for that sucker. Let me go ahead and get a top loader real quick.
Yeah. Let's see who's in the chat. What's up, guys? Yeah, man. Fausto hit me up just now. Like, okay, let's see what's going on. Ghost Rider, Cannonball. Ghost Rider is a really good character. There's a lot of nice Ghost Rider artwork out there. I'm sure there's a couple collectors of Ghost Rider, but it's a nice one. What am I hunting? Oh, man. Nothing right now, man. I'm just, waiting for masterpieces like everyone else. Sorry, Retro. I don't have any secrets, man.
All right, so that's done. Give us some secrets. Show me something special today. I just retired. Did you really? Is today the day?
Wow.
Hey, congratulations, Donald.
Congrats.
Dude, I'm so happy for you, man. He has a very, very important job that he did for many years, a major public service. Thank you so much, Donald. I'm so proud of you, man. I'm so happy. Now you get to collect even more cards and enjoy the good life and go to cons with your friends over here. And we can plan some big trips. Ooh, I'm seeing a lot of good characters. Exciting. It's right. Regular, true. Yeah. I see Doom. Oof, that's rough. Ghost Rider. That's a good one. Cannonball might be our suggestion. Absolute. Hey, Game of Nerds. What's up, man? I'm so glad. Doom, tell us. Yeah, well, we could. Yeah, I gotta have you on here next, dude. Show me something special today. I just retired. We got that one. I hear Sergio has gone domino mad.
I think a lot of people have gone domino mad. Yeah.
Yep. After seeing the new masterpiece card,
yeah,
we would definitely meet up. Perfect. Good. So okay. So we got that one. We got that beautiful gem there. I have to send that in to CGC to get blue labeled.
Nice.
So we'll do that next.
Hulk, Hulk is a really good option, I think, too.
Hulk is collected by more people than you think, William, for sure. It's a little.
There's got to be a couple.
There's a lot of really good Hulk cards out there that are pretty scary. Pretty scary indeed. Okay, so here's a good one for all my character collectors. Shout out to Matt Fuller, OCD cards, who drove me crazy with this, and of course infected me. I swear to God, he took up character collecting, and he's making it. He's insane. He's more insane than I thought he was. Actually, I knew he was crazy, but I didn't think he was mental. As Retro would say.
Yeah.
I mean, he was 100% mental. So now he has me looking for appearance cards.
Oh wow.
I just cut that.
I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense for you, Fausto. Like, you're already there, man.
Don't say that.
Just cross the bridge. You're already on there.
Don't say you, mother.
We're just trying to help you out.
Just trying to help you out. Just trying to get you.
By the way,
the edge, man.
I just got a card that has
What'd you get?
Similar. It has the name Dr. Doom in the back, and it gave me an excuse to get it.
There he is, right there.
Sapphires.
And there's Surfer right behind her. And then there's Surfer there. So one. There's Galactus.
Surfers in it? Wow.
Surfers right there.
Oh, wow. That's a nice one.
It's a nice one. There's this cat. Surfer. Surfer head.
Right there.
Surfer. Vision Surfer. Dormammu. Does Dormammu have Surfer? Surfer.
Oh, right there. Yeah.
Right in the middle. Right behind him. And then Hulk. This is supposed to be a blue. That bastard. That's fine. Surfer.
Yeah.
Surfer. Well, there you go. I did it.
Nice.
That should be all of them. If it's not, let me know in the comments below and I'll curse you out privately. But also thank you. So much appreciated. There we go. Next. So here he is. Of course, I spoke about him, and here he is in the freaking flesh. You dirty dog. Take that as a compliment. Hey, if you want to come on here, Matt, I'm going to do the live character collection right in front of people and build up a character collection from eBay. I remember when this diamond was on ComC forever. Yes, there were some diamonds on there. Fake size. You love it. Don't pretend otherwise. It's so true. I do. That bastard. Oh my, we're going to go full nuts now. Special patient you sunshine. That show. Yeah, ain't that the truth? Straight Jack. Yep, you know it. You guys all know me way too well now. You all see my sickness. All of our sickness. That's the best part about this video series. You get to see how truly demented your friends are over on the internet.
Oh yeah, man. We all have, the same
problems.
issues, of course.
The same issues. We all have the same issues. Did you see what VP put on the Batman post?
Yes.
Those look good.
Yes. VP does a lot,
Mm-hmm. Those are nice.
He's a big influencer.
Big influencer.
Every time I see some stuff, I'm like, okay, I see where you're
Matt,
at.
I got this from somebody.
It's
You need
awesome
to let me know
artwork.
if you need it, because it can just be yours. I don't need it. Okay, it was just happened that I was able to grab it. All right. Oh, sorry. I was just able to grab it. Okay. But I think Mirage at one point was Danny or something like that. If that's wrong, tell me. But I was able to grab it and I was going to PM you. But I did get this buyback as well.
Nice.
I don't know, man. I just love this. Is such a good set with so much good art.
That artwork is awesome.
Bill Sinkovich.
Yeah.
I'm just such a fan of that Siron. I just think that's such a cool character from my childhood that I remember. Such a weird character, and I just dig that. I dig that card since the beginning, and the Mirage. And my other favorite is the Lilandra, which I have the alpha of, which I like a lot too. But I was like, why not just pick up some of this stuff,
Yeah.
But Matt might need this, and if Matt needs this or to check the condition, I can overnight it to him. And it's Bill Sinkovich too, of course.
Sure.
But if he does need it, I'm well advanced human being leaving me out of this.
Yeah. Okay, Retro.
Tractable X-Acto knife.
We're all working on it,
Hello. I've had this forever. I don't know where I got it from. But maybe my emo days, I don't know. I like making you guys nervous. Okay. So this is my address all over the internet now. That's fine. Most of you guys know where I live anyway. This is a Pokemon card.
Okay.
Because I collect some Pokemon cards.
Nice.
And Dragonite's my boy. So I went ahead and did this. So here, eBay, repost my stuff. Authenticated, bada bing.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
It is cool. I like this card. Good card. Cool. Japanese. I dig it.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah, Japanese ones look, I don't know. It feels
they just look
special.
Different.
Yeah.
They hit different. They just hit different. They hit different for sure. And the foiling on them is different. It's a lot cleaner. It's
Mhm.
nicer. Just a nicer card.
Nice.
So, little mail day. And then we got one more. This one is by someone we all know. He is a Marvel Masterpiece artist from 1995.
Okay.
I have one in grading, but waiting to see results. All right, Matt, if you need this, I can mail this to you tonight if you want to be careful about it. But you just tell me what you need. Okay? I'll just send it over to you.
Yeah.
About time, mate.
Pokemon. Yeah.
Hey, another one of our boys. What's up, man?
What's up, Melfi? Let's see.
Yo. Can you
There you go, man.
Yo.
What's going
Hey,
on?
buddy.
What's up,
Nothing
man?
much.
Chilling? Opening
Chilling like a
I
villain.
love that Dragonite.
It's nice, isn't it?
Yeah. I've wanted to
I
pick
ha-
that up for a while too.
Dude, they sell, man.
I
I've
know,
been
they're
looking at this
awesome.
they're awesome. I have the English version, and then this kept getting fewer and fewer on eBay.
Yep.
And I finally just pulled the trigger. I don't like what I paid for it, but it is what it is. And
You got to
here we
do
are.
it sometimes.
Dude. Preaching to the choir, man. Drove me crazy, but and then a lot of buybacks have been posted online lately. Honestly, the trick right now for everybody, now that MM set is out, people are looking to make money.
Yep.
To build up the fund. I think we all need to get in there.
Thank you,
buy
Paul.
what we need.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, Melfi hit a Spidey PMG yesterday. It was
No,
nice.
You did not. Seriously?
I
Is
did.
that what everyone's talking about?
Yeah,
I did.
Damn, man. That's amazing.
Series, yeah. So
really?
cool. Yep.
Whoa. Yeah. Shoot. That's freaking awesome.
Yeah, one case so far I've hit pink high series silk. I hit the gold planet metal Gwen out of 25, and then the red high series Spider-Man.
All from the same case?
All from the same case. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's a good life, man. That's nice. How many boxes you got left in there? Damn.
We got 3 boxes left.
That's pretty good, man. That's
Yeah.
pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
All right. Shoot,
I don't know.
I saw something this morning. I was like, I thought something had happened, but I didn't read it closely enough.
We got so far I have 4 PMGs pulled, so I don't really know what else can be left in the case, but we're gonna open it. I don't know.
We're gonna
Whatever's in there is in there.
We're gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
Hey, Dirtbug.
What's up, Dirt?
What's up, man?
What's up, man?
Oh, it's so funny. We're gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
So here is a commission I got some time ago from an artist we all know. If you like Marvel Masterpieces 1995, you know who the artist Dave DeVries is.
Oh,
and here's
my
a
God.
commission from Dave DeVries, a sketch card commission. And there you go.
Wow.
So there it is, part of the Marvel Masterpiece Silver Surfer AP collection now.
That is insane.
It's crazy.
So there's that. So now I have a little bit of growing collection of APs from artists from over time.
On the old Masterpieces stock too.
Yeah, I like the old math more. It's the very first time Marvel Masterpiece had sketch cards. Just saying.
Yep.
Made sense.
Man.
It made sense. But yeah.
That's awesome.
And then Surfer was a band. He needs more booty. I agree. I complained about that, but they didn't want to. He didn't want to overdo it. That's a very nice card. Good card.
Yeah.
But yeah, so pretty fun. So got that from him. I can show you guys the other ones. You guys want to see what I have so far?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Okay. Let me show you something. I'll show you them.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's a sick sketch.
That's awesome, man.
And Dave is a legend too.
Yeah, I was trying to guess which one. Dave, you got Scanlon, you have Patelis.
Did Dave did a surfer
One more.
with I'll wait till Fausto gets on because he probably knows.
Say
Dave
again?
did a surfer with ears at one point, right?
Yeah, the first one
He
to
did,
do it.
right? Yeah.
I gave him ears. He did get him ears. I told him no ears for the sketch because I'm a
Yeah.
no ear kind of surfer guy. But it is fun that the original has that. Hey, cat. Yeah. All right. So there's Dave's. Here's another one. This is by Esad Ribbich.
Oh,
And he drew Thor, he's drawn Doom, but he actually has a Spider-Man archive card where it's not original art, it's actually for Silver Surfer Black, and they used the cover for the card. But he's a huge favorite of mine, so I had him do a card for me.
Wow.
oh wow, that's awesome, man.
That is crazy.
So there's that.
You don't see his that close up pose that often.
No, I was very happy he did it. I was surprised he did it, and he nailed it. And it's watercolor, and he absolutely nailed it. It's one of my favorite cards.
This is style. Yeah.
So when you're asking for a commission, like, do you just say I want Silver Surfer on this stock, or how collaborative is it? Because I've never done a commission before.
So I started my channel, my Instagram channel, with APs, and the APs were a way of me getting Surfer sketch cards because no one was selling any because they're just a pain in the ass to find. And the good ones, you know what I mean? Not the Icemans, the actual Surfer ones. And I had to follow Matt Fuller's example of, this is what I just want a Surfer. Anything you decide to do is what you decide to do. Because I think that is the best way to approach an AP. Because if you approach an AP any other way, you're going to be disappointed. Mm-hmm. You have to trust the artist. Like this piece here, like I know what he can do. You know what I mean? So if he just has an off day, then then I'm gonna get screwed, and well, that's what it is, and that's the end of it. You know what I mean? Because sketch cards are so rare. You know what I mean? Yeah. So already they're kind of an issue. You know what I mean? So there it is. So I lucked out with there. So I just say Surfer now, and that's the end of it.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
And then of course we know who this is, and this is a very interesting card.
Wow.
So that's Joe Jusko, and he didn't get a MM16 set when he made it. Upper Deck did not give him a set. So a collector went out of their way to make him a set and sent it to him. And as a thank you, Joe made 9 sketch cards with Marvel Masterpiece blanks that he had left in his collection. And he made 9 cards. One of them happened to be the Surfer. The guy decided to sell the Surfer to recoup his losses on the cards, kept some of the 9, decided to sell some of the others. So I snagged the Surfer that was on eBay.
Nice. Wow. Nice.
So I can have a Joe. There are pack-inserted Joe Jusko sketch cards out there, some in 2012 and some other ways, but the Kirby Crackle, I know. I just like that Joe did the Kirby Crackle. I like it that's purple, and I like it that it's on the Masterpiece Fantastic Four stock.
Yeah.
I just had to get it. So
yeah, that's awesome.
There's that. So I had to get that. The other
do they
one,
still not give artists the set? Wow. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
So they do some other things now, but they need to be giving artists, in my opinion, they need to give the artists at least a box, some uncut. There has to be some stuff going on there. So hoping that changes. You know what I mean? Hopefully that changes, but we'll see. All right, this one I haven't shown anyone. It's been a long time now. I don't think he'll care because Surfer's not banned anymore, so I don't think it matters. But I'll show it to you guys.
Oh my gosh!
Wow.
Yeah, you know immediately who that is. That's crazy.
Amazing. That's awesome, man.
Just one of my favorite cards in my collection.
Yeah.
Probably top 5, without a doubt.
That is so sick. Damn.
So
that's awesome.
You just can't top that. And it's like super painted and like not painted, you can see all the details and like all of his classic like negative space decisions and all that stuff. It's just
I like the
style.
after like the neck, like he still like breaks it up a little bit towards the edge.
Yeah.
It's just a style. It's just a very
And then obviously like his style signature like background like using
and you can see the Kirby crackle there too, which just people who know their stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Marvel Masterpiece artist on Marvel Masterpiece stock.
Wow, Fausto. I mean, you were getting mad at Matt,
Well, yeah, no.
I feel like me and Melfi over here, like, oh god.
This one you're
reconsidering everything.
Yeah, like you're putting ideas in it. Like, oh,
yeah.
I've been doing this. I've been doing that for a long time and keeping it under wraps for various good reasons.
I mean,
but awesome, I've reached a point now where I'm like, okay, I think I'm happy with where it is, and I can share now. This one you are going to be upset. Maybe I won't show it. Maybe I won't show it yet. I won't show that. I won't show that yet. Maybe I won't show that yet because I don't want to swamp this person. So I don't know if legally I could show it yet. So I'll have to wait. I'll have to wait. But
chat, don't blame me. Don't blame me.
Don't blame. Yeah, I don't want to get in trouble. But the Bianchi I haven't shown really publicly yet, and it's just one of my favorite cards in my collection. So
yeah,
it's awesome. Pretty cool. But yeah, so there's that. All right, let's go ahead and get hunting.
Yeah.
Let's get hunting. So okay. All right. Let's do this the right way. Let's get it. By the way, thank you guys for jumping on with me. I appreciate that.
Oh, of course, man. Thanks for inviting us.
Yeah.
Please, of course. All right. Let's go ahead and share a screen. You're going to see my eBays. So hopefully there's no shit. But there it is. So now you see it. You guys see my eBay screen?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right. Okay. What was the suggestion? Did someone say cannonball?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Let's go ahead and do cannonball. So first things first. Cannonball Marvel card. Okay. Go there. Highest. Let's see what absurdity people are doing with cannonball. Okay. So that's a bunch of garbage. We're going to go move down. Okay. So first thing we see is this, which is 129. Not in the best shape. It is a red. It is out of 99. Okay. So it is not a bad looking card. For 129, what do you guys think? Crazy?
I think you're waiting for the perfect collector at that price, right? Like,
well, it has best offer also, you can negotiate with that. I guess at that point I would just check any sold listings.
And that's the way to do it.
And then see if it's priced too high or low. But at this point I would just like favorite it, keep it in your watch list.
Yep.
Exactly.
Come back see if you get because they might send out offers too.
Exactly. That's exactly what I would do. I would also start figuring out cannonball's like most rare sets. You know what I mean? Like where's Cannonball appearing? What are some of the really hard sets that he's in? What are some of the harder ones to collect? Flare Ultra X-Men is a tough one because it's owned a lot by one collector. So those cards do end up being tougher. But you have to take into the character tax kind of part about this, which is the character is not very popular. And like you guys said, best offer, try to get as low as possible because there's no one out there who's going to buy a Cannonball collection. And that's the way to think about this, right?
Yeah.
If your character's at that kind of level of character, there's no reason to think about this and profits and all that kind of garbage. You know what I mean?
And if it's completely that tier, like you can you have the liberty to negotiate more. You don't have as much competition.
Exactly. And that's what I would do.
Yeah.
Take your time on that. I would not go too hard on that just yet. 93, nothing there. Is Cannonball in this card?
The X Force. Yeah.
Maybe is that him there?
Maybe. That's
Maybe
91.
popular cover, cannonball
Mhm.
in the background. I definitely would get anything that's vintage, which is pre 93 type of stuff in a 10. I would not waste time on 9s unless the pop count's super low.
Right.
I wouldn't try to buy boxes to pull either at that stage.
Those are tough to grade. Those comic images boxes are super tough to grade.
Super tough to grade. So top grade PSA 9, maybe it's a pop 1. Maybe that's the case. If this is from the same seller, which it looks like, go ahead and try to combine and grab cheaper if you can.
Mm-hmm.
So if you start to see this, you'll probably start to think now, oh, wait a minute, maybe there's a buyback version of Cannonball, right?
Right.
That's something to keep on your list as well. Now, here's something interesting.
That's a cool card.
Yeah.
Both of these are big cards for a Cannonball collector. This is an obvious buy.
Yeah.
And this
Marvel
is
now.
interesting. This signature looks right, but it should not be silver. It actually should be gold, and there should be a number on there if it's authentic. So this is a convention signed card.
Right.
Okay, just so you guys know. And there's a whole thing behind that signature. Okay, what is this guy? Does this guy even say it in the description? A brand new Impel personally signed. You mother. No, it was not. No, it was not. No. By Jim personally for us. This is part of a sign of our business in 92. We signed many cards and others are complete. I bet he did.
Oh, well, look, he stated it correctly, right? Pulled from a factory card pack and then signed.
Right.
Yeah, I bet.
Not pack pulled signature, which is different. Yeah.
I bet. Sneaky sneak.
Yeah, you have to read the whole
so
thing.
there's this thing. There's this thing. That's the number item. It's not a bad buy at $70. It's not terrible. Not terrible.
Because think about how long you would have to wait on a line to go get Jim Lee's signature at a con or something, you know?
It's true.
This is a great point. What price does that cost to begin with? Even the to
con
go
admission,
to a con, the whole
plane, hotel.
Right.
Very good price for this. The signature looks super clean, and they have a COA. I will say this is a very good buy. I think this is a very, very good buy. I think this is a good buy as well.
Although I would say the Marvel Now numbered, the red foils, the red rubies, they have gone for extremely cheap before. So I would try to find, there's others out there. Obviously, there's only 10, but they've gone for like $12, $11. So that was a couple months ago.
And
that might be your only
chance
of getting
high.
It might be your only chance of getting a numbered one. You're paying the tax of missing the boat when they were cheap.
Yeah, basically. I think that's a beautiful, perfect. I absolutely agree, man. That's a great suggestion. He has the wrong number on here. But it's nice. It's nice for being out of 10. 10s are notoriously tough, and people make sets, especially of this. I do think you can get this maybe at 35, 40, 75 might be too high because I don't think you're going to have tons of competition there.
Yeah.
But we'll see. So let's keep going. I guess this is another one that has Cannonball in there, which is kind of nice. This is a pretty iconic image of Cannonball from 93. So getting this in the 10, I think, is kind of important. It's not. Now let's get to sketches a little bit. And if you guys see anything in comments that I'm missing, please let me know. Oh, there's a lot of comments. Whoops.
Toy Biz version, Nilsonic versions.
Sinister's killer. Good job, Sinister. Absolutely. Hopefully we'll see something here for somebody. But this is not a bad sketch. The best way to look at sketches is to figure out who the artist is. I don't know that artist. And they didn't print their name on the back. Do a little research. Go to the checklist for Marvel Universe. Find the artist who drew this and see if they have any ties to Marvel comic books. Okay? This is a nice, clean sketch. It's a very nice sketch for $55. Technically 36 US. That's not a bad idea, but the shipping does bring it over a little bit. But it's not terrible.
William Johnson asked, would you suggest graded or raw starting a collection?
Okay. Nowadays, so I with Surfer, I did all raw because grading was not a thing for Marvel cards. It wasn't like if you see the interview with me and Johnny, you know what I mean? John was out the gate, knew what he was doing with the grading stuff. I did not. It took me a little while to figure out that was a smart thing to do, only because it took me so long to build up the collection raw. You know what I mean? And I spent a long time hunting for very rare, very, very rare stuff to get it. And I didn't want to spend a lot of money on grading. But once I got the really rare stuff out of the way, I started looking at graded cards. And luckily, it was right before the boom. And I was like, okay, let me just go ahead and grab all the Pop 1 stuff. And that's the only reason I have the graded card collection I have now, is because just so happened to be is that a lot of Pop 1 stuff popped up. If you're starting it today, I would not trust any raw card you see on an eBay listing unless they're from a friend, because people do not know what they're talking about. And I've been burned. And that's not me mean. I know I work at CGC. I'm not advocating to have all cards graded. What I'm saying is that if you're going to buy a card for $10 and you can get the graded 10 at 25 or 35, it's worth getting the 10, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys agree with that.
Especially base cards. I think base cards right now, there's so many being graded. There's an opportunity to get them very cheap at a 10.
Yeah.
The numbered stuff, it's probably, probably go raw on some of those. Just depends on how rare it is. You might not see a lot of graded.
Get hung up.
Yeah. You might not see a lot of graded examples, except, especially for like a lower tier character where it's not as popular. You might have to do the grading yourself.
It depends on the price first, right? If you could get the graded copy for less than what you could get a raw copy for, it's always worth it, in my opinion. Just because you're gonna have to spend that money anyway, especially if it's a better one. If you're a condition rarity collector, then it's probably easier to find, like you said, the 9s or the 10s at the right price than it is to find the raw and then grade it into a 9 or 10. And then the set matters too for me. So like a Spider-Man medal or an X-Men medal that has a ton of QC issues, it might be better to just pick up the graded condition copy that you want than having to search through ComC, hope that you get the right card, get a bad card, then be mad. And, it's just easier. It's the same thing with the Jim Lee auto. Like, it's the just ease of lifestyle where you could just pick up that card for $60 and then you don't have to go to the con and buy, wait online and do all that stuff. That's how I think about it. But usually the raw prices are a little bit better than the graded copies, typically, for the serial numbered stuff, at least.
I actually love that. I love both answers. You guys, yeah, absolutely. 100%. This is awesome advice for anybody who's kind of getting into this, or anybody who's really thinking about doing this long term. Great comments. What up, fellas? Hey, what's up, Pump? I got to have you on too. This is a major Deadpool collector. Okay, so this is a good one. Unpopular opinion. A PS card was a 10 before you sent it in. If you are not reselling, put in a one touch and the same card. I have graded cards, but not a super big thing. I agree. Honestly, you really have to think. Here's the way. Maybe this is the better way of stating it, right? Am I going to be, and this is so stupid, and I understand how stupid this is. I hope you guys understand that. If you want to be competitive with your collection, you go graded. If your collection really is just for you, then don't grade.
Or you don't have to.
Yeah, you don't have
to. I love that. Or you don't have to.
Yeah, I think I think it's best to decide before you even start buying, like, what approach you want to take. Do you want to grade a collection or not? And then that would make your life a lot easier.
Personally, I've done way less grading since getting into Marvel cards. Before that, I was in Pokemon and sports, and I did a lot of grading, and it was a lot of flipping and whatever. But It was also PC. I enjoyed the condition rarity because set cards in Pokemon aren't inherently rare. You know what I mean? Even if it's manufactured or whatever, there's a ton of them out there. So that's where the competitiveness came in. But for Marvel, I don't really feel the need to do that anymore.
Yeah,
I love that. Yeah, I think that's great. Retroverse, you're wrong. A one touch will be UV protected is worth thinking about. By the way, that is really idiotic. All slabs, PSA, BGS, CGC, whatever, should be UV protected. There's no reason why they're not, and it's idiotic that they aren't. I will say this. There are sleeves for your slabs. I know one more thing to buy, but there are sleeves for your slabs that are UV protected to keep that into consideration. But all slabs should be UV protected, and that should come standard. Hopefully in the future, this is fixed.
Yeah.
Just to follow up with Elite Auto Talk, what are your thoughts on 13 retro autos? A lot of big artists signed on those sets. There's a lot of autographs in 13-15 that are super slept on because people went the PMG route and totally neglected that retro. In its essence, is about a nostalgia trip down the original Marvel cards. People forget that. Like when all this PMG talk was happening at the beginning, my obsession with retro wasn't the PMGs. I've been hunting for the Green Surfer for a long time, which you guys know, but my real obsession with retro was the callbacks to all the original designs. That's the stuff I fell in love with. And it's a freaking great set and it's super limited. You know what I mean? Which was my obsession, which is why I think Retro 2013 is probably going to go down as one of the biggest boxes, in Marvel card land, just because, We got Matt Fuller here, by the way. Thank you, Matt, for the artist. I really appreciate that.
Just hiding in the background. Don't mind me.
You rock. I love it. And we're going to get through these comments and go back to our hunting. Doctor Strange Archive. Most of my cards were purchased before grading. Huge thing. Yeah, I have a couple of thousands. You guys really have to check out his site. It's quintessential reading for Marvel card collectors. I can't stress that enough. It's helped me out so much, and he's just done such hard work. This brings up an interesting thing on the hunt. This X-Men toy here of Cannonball. Okay. Notoriously, there are action figures that come with X-Men cards, Toy Biz cards on the back. There is a Cannonball card that came with a toy. So what I would do is look through all the toys between 94, between 92 and 94 or whatever it is, and just look at the cards in the backdrop. And just buy that action figure that has the card back there and keep it sealed. I never thought there was one for Surfer. It doesn't say Toy Biz on the back. It doesn't say anything special on the back. It's just the power blast that they stuck in an action figure, which I had no idea they did that. And I found one years later, and it's in my collection. It's a nice little thing to do for your card collection, in my opinion, is to have that kind of history there.
Yeah.
I did have one comment from something you mentioned a little while ago. When you're looking at that red PMG, the 129, the Cannonball, if you're looking to purchase a card like that, make sure you do a second search for other copies of it, because there's another one with a $70 BIN. Yeah. So you can always, I've done that before. I've seen one. I'm like, oh, that's a good price. I want it. And I buy it now. And then an hour later, I see it for cheaper.
There's going to be a lot of things, especially when you have acronyms like PMG, precious metal gems, red, the 99, put /99 instead of the actual number. That sometimes helps. I would just go 2018 Fleer Ultra X-Men and just put gem or metal, or, you know what I mean? Just to like see if someone missaid something, anything like that. So I think you have to think of your threshold here when you look at cards like this. This is all about research. If you haven't caught on yet, all of this is about research. You see something you like, you're interested. Do keep in mind, like Matt's mentioning here, you are currently the only person looking this up, unless you do it live and ruin this for all Cannonball collectors out there, like I am. But mostly you're doing this by yourself. And usually when they show you that ticker of like, oh, 2 people are watching, it's because you have 2 tabs and you're the only idiot who's watching with you. You know what I mean? For something like this. So keep that in mind that does happen.
And there's a lot of tactics too. Like sometimes you don't want to watch the item, you just want to send the offer so no one feels pressure that someone's watching it within 24 hours. It's a lot of things.
Yep. That's a hell yeah. That's exactly right. I can't see what's that card behind there.
He's a little too beefy to see it.
He's a little too beefy to see it,
like
but you can
the
ask
Rob
for more
Liefeld version.
Oh, this is nice. This is cool.
Yeah.
I don't know about the price, but here's a bunch of cards that are out of the package, so check those out. Remember, keep it sealed in there. Don't try to grade those. You know, get multiple doubles because this plastic stuff yellows. The card could be sun damaged. You know, be careful of this stuff. But this is pretty great. Avengers Fleer Ultra has an exclusive Cannonball card, and I think there's an auto version.
Yeah, red one. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So we got a Palladium. That's a good one too. I don't know about the price, but there it is. And then now we come to the thick of it. Now we start seeing other cards with Cannonball in there. Okay. Now what you do here next is make a folder on your desktop and start dragging these pictures and title the pictures this stuff. Okay. And you just keep a visual library of what you're buying and what you're looking at. Okay. That's the next step.
That was cool. A Just Go auto of Cannonball for $19.
So here's the thing I will say about convention autos, and it might not be popular. I don't particularly like them unless I grab them myself. I'd like to know what you guys think, but Joe signs a lot of stuff. Joe has been around for a while. Joe has a lot of things signed. There's a lot of cards out there with his signature on there. I like going in person to these people and getting the signatures there. The Jim Lee thing, that's a little different because it was a COA. There's a few things there. You know, that's a rendition of the card. You know what I mean? But I like going in person and getting the autos. What do you guys think? What do you think, Doom?
I like having the option, right? If I don't, maybe there's not a con near you, you don't have, the ability to get to one, it's a nice option to have. If it's like Just Go and he had autograph cards, in 2016 as buybacks.
Yep.
This is 93, so I believe there's not a signature for this card from a pack, right?
No, because it's 93. I don't know if he's in 92. I have to look.
Right. So if you like collecting autographs and you're gonna have a 92, you want to pair this with a 93, then yeah, it seems like a good option. It's just about personal preference at this point. I mean, that's not a terrible price, but it's purely like just preference, right? Yeah, with those.
And I would also think about what's going to stay on eBay as opposed to what's going to get picked up faster.
Yeah, it's not priority. Yeah, that wouldn't be a priority.
Yeah,
I think this is another good discussion about priority. Yeah. What you think, Melfi?
Yeah, I would always go after the things that are the hardest to get first, for sure. But if I always think about it like, what is Joe going to charge at a convention just to get the auto? And like I said, this is just easy. It's right on eBay. It gets shipped right to my door or wherever, and I don't need to think about it twice. Like sometimes it's worth it. It's like Amazon or any of these other things, right? Sometimes it's just easier to get it delivered straight to you so that you don't have to go and travel and whatever. Some people just can't do that either.
Fee.
Yeah, the convenience.
No, I agree.
Fee. Right.
Yeah, I agree. And, I wasn't able, I'm a caretaker for my sister for a long time, so I wasn't able to go to cons until I got much older.
Right.
And that's not always the option for people. So these are a good way to go about that and to get around that stuff. And I do think it's going to be a personal preference thing.
Yeah. But like you said, if there is a pack pulled auto and I'm a serious like Cannonball collector, I'm obviously going to go after that stuff first.
Yeah, I agree. Matt, where's your head at this with Danny?
I go by what my good old buddy Fox Mulder said, which is trust no one. If it's not pack inserted or if I didn't get it signed, I don't trust anyone. I mean, look how many idiots do we see trying to sell Stanley autos in the group, right?
Marvel's particularly bad for this too.
Yeah. I mean, the good thing about Joe is he has an incredibly consistent signature. So he might not be the best example because, I mean, his J's are, I mean, always identical. So
Undeniable.
you can pretty much tell with him. But yeah, if I didn't get it myself, or if it's not from an officially licensed product, I don't trust third parties myself.
It's a good point.
Matt, there is a question on here for you that I think it's pretty serious. Did you sell your house, Matt?
Yes, I've clearly moved into a garbage filled basement. That is my new house.
With your new
I mean,
house.
retro kept showing up here, so I had no choice.
You had to get away from him, damn
Seriously.
stalker. I think bigger carriage you have to limit to grab every single card. You look at the art and see what's like the most. Who cares if $1 or $100? Yeah, art is definitely a big thing for character collectors, and I think it's funny. I forgot who I was talking to, but they were mentioning that to me about like, I just can't grab every Silver Surfer card. I only want to grab like the ones I like. Maybe it was Elusive, but I think it was also somebody else who mentioned the same thing. And I was like, I think that's smart. You know what I mean? There are some surfers in the collection. I'm like, this is butt ugly. I don't know why I have this, but you know what? It's like I got so deep into it that it looked jarring not to have those 3 or 4 cards in the collection in whatever grade or whatever condition. And at that point, I was like, okay. And they weren't expensive. You know what I mean? Like there's certain things that I can't agree with. Like I can't agree with the price of an MM16 Silver Spectrum Auto. You know what I mean? That Joe signed. I can't agree with a $5,000 price tag on that. It's just too much. It doesn't make sense to me. I just can't get behind that kind of price on a signature that I can grab on a card that's repeated all the same. You know what I mean? Is it a nice card? Is it a lovely card? 100%. Would I love to have it? Of course I would. But as a character collector, I had to be like, you know what? I have the what if and the buyback. I'm happy with that, and I have to move on. You know what I mean? And those little things you do.
Yeah,
and sometimes things come up, those decisions, and that you need to have that flexibility as a character collector, because otherwise you will not do this long term. This is a really great one. 2015 factory figure cards. They're always rough condition, but fun tone. There's a lot of good toy cards out there. I'm going to do a whole episode on all the different cards that come with toys and products, because there's a lot of really good ones out there. And I think they're really fun. Lots of typos on eBay is a huge thing. I agree 100%. This is a good comment. A big factor to why I grade my higher end stuff to include sketches, and that one day my PC will be left to my kids, and likely, if they choose to sell everything. He's absolutely right. Ryan's been doing this for a long time, and I completely understand where he's coming from. And I don't personally agree with grading sketch cards because I'm just not a fan of that. But I will say, in terms of archive, in terms of categorizing, in terms of like eventually leaving your collection to someone else instead of me, who's just going to light it on fire and tell you guys to get away from me, I think it's a good idea to do that.
That's a great point. I'd actually never considered estate planning as a reason to grade, but that's an incredibly smart move, actually.
Yeah, it's like future proof, in case
smart
something happens to you. It's easier for the family to deal with, for sure.
100%. I got 2 Bianchi autos that I signed since I couldn't afford it to see people who got stats for me as reliable and trustworthy. Yeah, see, that's different. Like the stuff that Matt Titillo does with the Bianchi autos, that's a direct type of situation. You know what I mean? I think that makes a lot more sense than trusting the rando eBay person who may and may not be great. I think that's absolutely smart. Also, some statues have also come with trading cards. That's interesting. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I forgot about that, Donald. I got to get a picture from you. I forgot about that. I don't think there was a surfer one like that, but that's a good one. Haven't thought about that for a while. Okay, so we're going to keep going down here, but we have a pretty good idea of stuff with Cannonball. Onslaught Cannonball. Yikes. Let's keep going. Okay, so we have a Molten. We have a Serial, $2.99 for $20. That's pretty interesting. Let's keep going. What special trading card are we talking about here? A Strife. Okay. We don't have to worry about that. That's a Strife one there.
Mhm.
Okay. So at this point, you're going through here, you're looking at some cards. 1987 is probably one of the oldest ones I see here
Yeah.
for Cannonball.
It might be an 84 FTCC. I know there's a Danny then, so there certainly could be a Cannonball.
That's a
And
good
the
one.
sticker's a nice one too.
The sticker's a
Yeah,
nice one
sticker's
too.
nice.
This is a very nice sticker too. It's very pretty color.
I
Yeah.
would say prior to maybe jumping on eBay, you might want to go trading card database,
Absolutely.
look up your character so you can see a timeline of years, and some maybe you're blessed to have an image there. A lot of people upload. I know I did a lot of uploading for Doom cards for future Doom collectors. You get a sense of what the earlier stuff is and how many cards in total you're dealing with. Then, find a checklist and then go to eBay. Use all three at the same time.
And TCDB is also good because you can get some research done on the groups. Like for him, you're also going to want to search New Mutants and you're going to want to search X Factor.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And that's the other thing I would say. Do a Wikipedia search. And I would do a Wikipedia search and really check out who this cat is. Because there's a lot of things here that are going to be super helpful to looking at different cards and group teams and stuff like that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing I will say, this might not happen with Cannonball, but this did happen with Surfer, where someone didn't say Silver Surfer, they said Norrin Rad, right, which is Silver Surfer's real name. So that sometimes happens with your character. The other thing I will say to do is to look at this beautiful section here, the created by section. Okay. This is massively important. Not only are these two people super important to you now as a Cannonball collector, but I believe both are still alive. So contacting them directly for commissions, contacting them directly for autographs on certain cards, look for their art on cards, and then I would even say look up their names on eBay and see if they signed any cards as well. Because there is a pack pulled autograph of Chris Claremont in X-Men Metal, correct? Like
Yes.
the comic
Yeah.
cuts.
Yeah. He
So
did good. Yeah.
if he did comic cuts, you better go in there. And the next thing to do is to go to ePack.
Yeah. ePack's another one. Yeah.
ePack's the way to go for modern stuff. Okay. You go here, and what you're looking for now is you're looking for, well, let's go here instead. Product checklist.
Go to Marvel 80th.
That's it. Marvel 80th. You rock, Matt. So we have metal, and then we have Marvel 80th. Am I missing that? No. There you go. Okay. You're looking for certain issues here, right? Those are achievements, comic clippings, autos. Look at all this good meat here. Okay. Good stuff.
I got a good example for you.
Please let me share. Ah, you rock.
Speaking of Cannonball.
That's awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah, the challenge is finding the specific characters within the cuts, obviously, but looking through ePacks can help. The biggest problem is some of these where there are only 10, there'll be maybe one on ePack. So you really have to do some searching, and making a lot of friends helps.
A lot of friends help. Honestly, like the only reason I've come as far as I have on this collection is because of other people. This has not been a me thing only. This is 100% the community helping me build this collection. And that's just a fact. There's nothing that's not even debatable. So that's a really big one. Thank you, Matt. Okay, so checking eBay, looking at these lists become vastly important. Okay. So the other thing we didn't take some time to look at was this beautiful site. which is trading card database. Okay, a lot of people do some really good work here and do the research of all of this. I would just print all of this out. I would just go crazy and print all of this out and start making yourself a visual checklist. It looks like the first card they have on file here is the 1984, like Matt called, and there's Cannonball dominantly featured on the front of the card of the New Mutants. Okay. This card here is going to be your top priority and a high grade. Whether you like grading or not, I do think it's really important to get some of these very early pieces, especially this one, because it's a solo Cannonball, which is 1987, graded in a high grade. I just think that's a very important thing to consider. Okay. This is an important card too. But yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for me, everything 1989 and earlier, I just bought graded 9 or above.
Beautiful. That's the way I did it too.
And if you want to get crazy, then start going after foreign stuff and looking up in Spanish.
Oh boy.
And
end
up in Spanish websites. Maybe reach out to a collector friend who speaks Spanish so he can go look for stuff for you. That's the way to do it.
Or you go to
good old Google Translate works too. Google Translate works.
Cannonball.
And there's multiple ways. Like I know for Doom, there's like 5 different names in Spanish. So you
Dutch.
just figure it out. Yeah.
Just Norwegian. There's a lot of ways to look this up. And I think Spanish is the major one for sure. Okay.
From
Japanese
my experience,
is interesting.
Sticker sets are from various countries.
Yes. Various countries. Portuguese, that's a good one. Let's see if we get any hits on this. Let's see if we get lucky.
Nothing. There you go.
So nothing there.
No.
But this is definitely the way to go to get lucky on the foreign stuff. Yeah. So that's a big way to go. Let's take a look at these comments real quick. Yes, this is a really big one. Photos are terrible. So make sure you look for photos. And we'll start wrapping up shortly, but make sure to look at photos and to ask the seller questions. A lot of colors from X-Men Metal specifically can be misidentified. Okay. Hey, Card Shop, what's up, man? Estate planning is a big thing. Many don't think about, but it's very important for big collections. That's the next guide I'm going to write for after the move for those that need pointers. Yes. And if you don't mind, Dr. Strange, and you can, of course, use the video for your website, I'd love to do that, a video on that whole thing of explanation on this channel, if you don't mind, Donald, which would be really nice, and I think a lot of people would appreciate it. Stickers are a good way to go as well for character collectors. Yes, stickers are awesome. Very much so. Let me keep going. Some great art comes out of Italy, 100%. What were you going to say, Matt?
I was trying to find the example, but one other thing, sort of the flip side of estate planning, is if you're thinking about conventions and specifically convention sketches, and you mentioned Claremont and McLeod. I mean, I hate to be grim, but a lot of the classic artists are getting up there in age. So if you can lock in a sketch now, that's probably the smart way to do it while you can.
That is.
Sorry to be like the Grim Reaper, but I mean, the clock
it's not the Grim Reaper.
These things.
Yeah.
It's not the Grim Reaper. It's actually super, super important. And I think people need to kind of, put that in perspective, especially with some of these collections with the way they're getting, a lot of collections nowadays are becoming more and more massive, and these things have become way more valuable. And a lot of people forget that stuff. And Matt knows this firsthand. we've had collectors who have unfortunately have passed, and selling their collections is no easy feat. Very difficult. So, luckily they had good people in the hobby to help and to sell a lot of this stuff. But it is smart to think about, especially if your collection is getting up there in value. And I will say this: as you're buying these cards on eBay, as you start this, let's think about some good, and we'll start wrapping up after this. But what are some really good practices for someone who starts character collecting day one? My suggestion would be print a PDF of your eBay winnings, right? If you want a card at X amount, print a PDF of that and put it in a folder so you can keep a running tab of how much everything is costing you and how much it grows in value. And you have the description, you have pictures of the card there. Like, just keep a running, just make that commonplace for you, is just say, okay, print PDF in folder, the card's in the collection now, and I have my source of where I got it from. Do that for trades as well. If you have a conversation with someone and you make a trade with them, screen print all that stuff and just keep it for that card. Not only is that important because it keeps track of how much the card cost you in the end in terms of trade value, but that collector might have more cannonball stuff that they're just not willing to let go at the time. And it'll keep a reminder for you on how to go back to them and know who that collector is. What do you guys think? Do you guys have anything like that?
I do like images. Anytime I buy something, I just throw Apple Photos, and I just have like a little gallery of what I have.
Smart.
And then it depends how you collect. Like if you're gonna be a completionist, then probably best doing your suggestion, just writing all of them down and having a list. But if you're focused on just visually which artwork you want to approach to buy, do a little gallery first, look at it, make sure you really like the pieces before you start buying any of them.
That's a great idea. Kind of like have like a little visual aid type of thing, right? Like compare the
little
different
gallery.
artists. Yeah.
Almost like your Instagram wall, just like a 3x3. Just start looking and see if it makes sense. That's the way you want to approach it. And then you could easily eliminate cards that don't fit however you want to approach the collection.
It's a great way to pre-visualize your collection before you start spending tons of money. That's awesome suggestion, Jim. I love that. That's a great one. That's a really good one. And you don't even have to own the cards.
Yeah, I do the same thing in the beginning of the year. Beginning of 2023, I went through my wish list, I called it, and I put together like the pictures of everything and then the description of everything and like what my estimate would be on each, so that I could make sure that I had that budgeted away so that if the cards ever popped up, I knew, okay, this is my max. I'm not going above it. If I don't get it, that's okay. But this is like what my goals are for 2023, and it kept me more narrow focused. And then for inventory, I use a Excel sheet, and I just have the title, what I paid for it, if I sell it, how much I sell it for, and that's good for just like accounting too. This way, it just goes straight to whoever you're dealing with for taxes, or if you're doing it yourself.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really awesome. I wish I had done more of that in the past. I did not keep track financially of what I was spending on every card. I really didn't. And it took a while to relook at my checklist. And I think it was Matt or somebody I was talking to, and they were like, so what do you think it's at now at this point? Like, the collection has to be like, there has to be a price on, you know what I mean? Like how much money you put into it. Or I was thinking about buying a card, and it was some kind of conversation. It was like, well, how much are you already into the collection that buying the card is going to like, and there was some kind of good conversation you and I were having. And I was like, fudge, I really should have been smarter about, keeping track of that stuff, because it wasn't, and I don't think it is for a lot of us on my channel. A lot of people I have on my channel, it's not necessarily for the money, which is why, I just like talking to people who just are more hobbyists than collectors. But at the end of the day, it really is, it has to be about both, right? And not in order to sell, but just because estate stuff, God forbid something happens, or things like that. I think it's just a smart thing to always have in the back of your head. Like, okay,
I put this much money into it. I'm really happy with the way it's going. The extra value that's being added there outweighs how much I spent on this. You know what I mean? There's just something smart happening there in that process. I agree. What about you, Matt? Would you have any good advice?
I mean, I think you guys have all sort of nailed it, which is, I'd summarize it as start with passion before value, right? Because how many times have we seen a character collector bailing and getting fractional return on what they paid, right? So Melfi, I loved what you said, which is you already have a set range, and if it's not within that, you're going to walk, which I think more people, myself included, need to do with that. Because I mean, honestly, even if it's like Wolverine, when you're there fighting to get those cards, typically speaking, you're going to overpay. Yeah. And especially if you're trying to dump in a short period of time because you have a financial emergency, there's always going to be a hit for that. So make sure you're doing it first and foremost for the passion. Don't ever think of it as, oh, this is going to be my retirement fund or anything like that, because,
you're more likely to lose in that scenario if you treat it like, oh, I'm beating the market. This is undervalued. This is that. It's like, you never know when you're going to have to sell something. So it might be in a down point. It might be, you never know. You might get lucky, but it's a gamble at the end of the day if you're treating it like that. So make sure you're buying stuff that you like, because you might be with it, or you might have to just say, you know what? I love that. I had it for 2 years, but now I'm ready to move into something else, or I could use that as trade into something else. So, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think unless your name is Charles or Phil and you've got like tracking sheets for live stats and you the market, like those two guys can do it. Like us normal mortals, no.
Us normal mortals. And that's also too if you're buying doubles. You know what I mean? That's the game if you're like stacking cards on cards. And you're going to see a lot of that stuff come up with the next MM. And you're watching a lot of stuff happening in groups now where people are selling MM cards or, selling full sets of extra sets of things they've had, and they're looking to fund the next venture into the next MM set. That's a very different game. But I agree with Matt and Melfi on this 100%. You could be holding this for a while. The Surfer stuff really was, I've never thought about selling anything Surfer unless it was a double. You know what I mean? But I've never, ever, like I barely didn't even stack things in the Surfer collection. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, perfect example was the Stanley Auto that came to eBay. You know what I mean? That Marvel Onslaught thing. I could have stacked that. I had a shot at that beforehand, and I just didn't do it because I was like, how much money am I really going to spend duplicating cards I already have just to say, hey, I have a corner on this market? You know what I mean? Is it a bad idea? No, it's not. In actuality, it probably makes more sense. I've seen a lot of people end up on top with that kind of thinking, but it's just not my level. You know what I mean? It's just not a common practice, I should say. Not that I haven't thought about it. It's just not a common practice for me. So I do think those are all wonderful suggestions. Do not plan on, this is not something you get in and dump. This is something you get into and you really spend some time with. And I think that's the best thing to talk about when you talk about character collecting. This is a really great one to remind ourselves as we start bringing this to a close. You can't own it all. Don't stress over serial cards. The base of the art is enough.
Yeah.
With 20 parallels of a card, I can't sit here and be like, rainbow every card from every set. I think that's madness, and I think it doesn't make sense to do that. It's the same art with a different color on it. Is it cool to do? Yes. Is it satisfying? Absolutely. But is it kind of like make or break your collection? I don't think it does. In actuality, I really don't think it does.
I've been asking this question. I know that we're trying to wrap it up, but I would
no,
be curious
we don't have to rush. I'm only saying that because I don't want to.
No, yeah. Forever. No, I'm curious because I've been asking people. Do you think that Marvel should move out of the kind of sports parallel model, but if you want to have multiple parallels, that the parallel should be tied to the artwork? So let's say a green out of 10 is a different artwork image of Venom than the red PMG in the same set. So it's still manufactured rarity, and but it's actual, like, it becomes a little bit more.
It actually becomes real rarity. It
Right.
goes from manufacturer rarity to real rarity the moment you
Right.
start doing that. And what ends up happening there, and I'll tell you too. So sorry, did you finish your question? Because I interrupted you because I'm a terrible person.
No. I'm wondering, would you prefer that, or because I'm not a like completionist. So to me, I wouldn't mind having that, because then I could go get a green. If I love the artwork that much more than the red, I'll go get a green, or vice versa. If I love the red more, then I could go get a red. But I wonder if that would piss off set collectors, where they would feel like, oh, it doesn't match completely. You know what I mean?
Set collectors don't exist anymore. First off, right? That is an impossible thing to do. If you're a set collector in today's day and age, you're already spending big bucks to complete a set. You know what I mean? And by set, I'm assuming what crazy people would think about is like everything, every parallel, you know what I mean, except for one of ones. You know what I mean? Like there's too many compromises being made for true set collections now. You know, an example of every card plus the full base set. You know, so there's examples of that. Like if you do okay, I'm going to do the full base set, spend tons of money on the 9 tier 4, and I'm going to have an example of 1 orange, 1 purple, blah, 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 blah. And maybe that's a rainbow of a particular lesser known character, and I was able to complete it. You know what I mean? And it's an example of every card. So set collecting is completely out of the realm of possibility now. What I will say is that the reason Upper Deck hasn't done anything like that, and if I could be really honest, is because they don't care enough to do it. They just don't care. And I like Upper Deck a lot, and I have a lot of good friends over there who I respect immensely, and they've done a lot of amazing sets, and I respect that. But they haven't done something like that because that means they would have to keep track of the art they're selecting for their cards and not repeat art. That means they would have to take the time to have a visual library of all the cards they've already done to understand not to have repeats. And they're not taking the time to do that. And that
which is insane.
Which is insanely stupid. It just is. It really is an insanely stupid thing.
That's like an intern, could do that.
It's not even, it's so dumb how easy that would be, because so much of the resources are already done by us, the community.
Right.
Well, it just doesn't make any sense.
But let's be realistic, right? They are a corporation, and a corporation's going to take the easiest path to profit. And the easiest path is you give the printer one image and you say 20,000 base, 200 of this, and they just change the color. This way they don't have to source and pay for extra art. They don't have to get all the different stuff. It's just cheaper, and we buy it. So why change it if it ain't broke?
And here's the thing I will say. Okay, to stay on topic with this stuff, I think collectors would love it more, and I think it'd make it and I think the longevity of Marvel cards would be extended instead of having the issues it has now if they went with that ideal Melfi. And they've done things like this in the past with certain cards. They really have, and Rittenhouse tried this. Sketch cards tried this. Rittenhouse sketch cards would have black and white sketches that were super rare by big artists. You know what I mean? And they were the same stock, but they were black and white. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of different things that have been done, but never kept to. And now the cheapest way of doing this is the way things are being done now. And I think the problem with Upper Deck, a lot of problem with corporations, period, is that if the bottom line is truly the only thing that matters to you, then you have forgotten longevity. That you have forgotten that true profit comes when you create something that has a huge following for a long time. And because of secondary markets and stuff like that, yes, do they lose a lot of money on that stuff? Absolutely, because they're not making direct money from that.
Right. They don't care if a Masterpieces box on the secondary market is $1,000. Right.
Because they lost the money on that. They don't care at all. Right. That's long and gone, and it's over.
Right.
But companies that do this kind of behavior, where they have things that they should be doing that they just don't out of laziness, only creates competition and eventually loss of that license. And that's how that goes for every company. The more you make yourself uninteresting or like everybody else, you eventually will lose profit down the line. Maybe not today, maybe not in a year, maybe not in 2 years, but down the line, you will screw yourself out of even more profit than you could have imagined. And maybe that's wrong. I'm not as wise as these other guys. I don't have a company. I don't know any of this stuff. This is me talking out of my ass. Like I could fully admit that. You know what I mean? But I would imagine that you would want to leave something behind that will grow in popularity and eventually give you the attention of that company. You know what I mean? Like I would imagine that would be something that's pretty high on the list. But I'm definitely in the minority there.
The problem is the way it's set up, right? They don't own the license, right? They're more or less renting it for some period of time. So they're not going to be the stewards of the license. They're just going to use it and maximize their profit while they have it in that window, right? And that's, I mean, if a corporation is for profit, that's the way to do it. I don't agree with it, and I'd love it if it was like we're all saying, but you know, those licenses aren't cheap, so they gotta cash in while they can. It's just the reality.
From a business standpoint, it makes sense to just do what they're doing.
It's just the reality of the thing. But I think that's what's nice about these kind of chats, right? And what we do as a community, because we all have real lives, we have real responsibilities, we all have real hardships. You know, I think people confuse that. I think people confuse a fan base with a bunch of people that have nothing else to do. And I think that's very ignorant. You know, more collectors I've met over the years have really important stuff they do in their lives, and this is their break. You know what I mean? This is what keeps them sane from doing real police work, teaching students. You know what I mean? Like being doctors and nurses and just being people of the society. And I think people forget that. But what I like what we do with our discussions is that we take the time to appreciate it and we make it fun for ourselves. We don't need the company to make it fun for us. We can make it fun for us. And I like that power transfer that happens there, which I'm really enjoying now. We have a couple of things in the chat. I do Stanley getting the age that I want to meet the legend. Yeah, absolutely nostalgic, 100%. That's a really important thing to do, and that's why I think it's good to go to that Wikipedia page and look at the creator of your character or a team or something like that. It's really important. You can, right? We talked about that. Hey, Bryce, what's up, man? Doom, I know you posted rules and guides in the past. Do you or any of the panel have guides on curation and display? That's a good one.
That's I think, when I started collecting everything completionist. I think what I would say, if you can identify your personality type, you can like really look if you have prior collections, the way that you have collected those, what you enjoyed the most. If you find a pattern on how you created that collection, it'll be a lot easier for you to approach a new collection, and you don't waste time, right? You get to it. If you can identify what you really love and focus in that area of whatever character you have, you can maximize your time and get the pieces that probably won't be there for too long. I did that with the vintage stuff, like the first appearance stuff. That's what I love the most. And like Retro said, maybe you can't collect every parallel, but if you're excluding yourself from modern sets and you like masterpieces, then you can just solely focus on that parallel set and then just apply your money there. Like you can get creative in how you do it, but you have to really look in the mirror and like understand how you approach a collection. And that would be like the easiest, but it's also the toughest thing to figure out, and it may take some time.
I love that. Perfect.
And Viking, I know we'll eventually get to it, but Dr. Strange Archive just posted a comment, the most recent one, so you should check that out. We'll get to it eventually, I'm sure. But if you want info on display, he's your man.
He is definitely, and I love what you said, Doom. I agree with you that, and I've always appreciated you and Elusive talking to me, because that helps me out a lot in thinking about, how I want to like set the parameters on my collection as well. So just trying to find out Daredevil 75th anniversary Ruby, but only one I've seen was more than my diamond. No way I can go. I can wait. Gotta budget. Yeah, Bryce, it's really tough. Some of these cards, it's once you get past 50, it starts getting very, very, very slim pickings.
I mean, so Bryce, I've got a little plug here. I've got a 2014 Ruby set on eBay that I broke up, and if I can recoup my cost on that, I also have a 75th I might be willing to break up. So keep an eye on that.
Bryce, DM Matt to let him know your information, so if it comes up, you can be ahead of the curve,
Yep.
man. Thank you, Matt. Milfy killed it. Absolutely. Am I wrong thinking Red has to go hard on color parallels the way UD has? UD did it very interestingly. It didn't go, you're not 20 parallels deep, Rittenhouse style wise. You know what I mean? And the parallels they did for Rittenhouse were pretty interesting because the rubies out of 50 could only have been gotten from archive boxes, right, Matt? So,
yes.
like, you had to participate in a different type of product to get a certain color. It wasn't just that they were all thrown in there at once. So there was a nice little divide on these things, I will say. And I did appreciate how they did them.
Yeah, and I think they had 4 parallels?
Yeah.
A sapphire,
Diamond,
emerald,
ruby. Yeah, that's
5.
it. Not
Yeah.
even 5. Yeah, 5.
Yeah.
That's it. Not even. Sections are done. The base set. Yeah, I agree. Does have photo variations. Photo variations are very new. Ages. Well, not very new, but because Retro did them too. But they are out there, and they're sometimes not listed. So this becomes tough.
Aren't those the ones that they're just like here's the base and here's the photo, right? Isn't that the difference? I'm serious, though, right?
No, 100%.
They just zoom in.
They're not really. There are some real photo variations, like in the Power
I think
Blast.
the Ultra Power, right?
That's it. The Ultra Power.
Yeah.
The Ultra Power Blast. I think it's a Power Blast from Retro. Maybe I'm wrong.
2019 Flare, I think, had the stained glass variations,
animation,
right?
stained glass variations, right? So there are actual photo variations. Some sets, like Matt said, it's just a cropping and it's super pathetic. But yes, there are some actual photo variations out there. There are actual some ones. Yeah, perfect. Although UD is like second Marvel, it does feel a bit of a snake steal. Yeah, pretty much. That's the nice part I love about this hobby. It's a way to get away from everyday life. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people do. I've met so many of us that do that stuff. I think it's important. I agree with Matt. Licensing boom since COVID companies. Yeah. And then here comes the good comment. I have quite a bit of for curation.
Supposed to be
info. Websites offline for a bit during the move. Yes. So it's coming back up. Look up the name. Look at his Instagram. You'll find the website there. It's really good info. And I think that's a good way to do it. But display wise, yeah, I think display wise is all about. I'm more of a cat with the way I have my collection. I just like keeping my stuff in boxes. I don't know why, but it did take me a long time to like get a display up and start putting stuff in a display. And then I rotate it. Instead of putting everything on display, I rotate. That way I never get because sometimes I get a little obsessed about a card that's missing from something I'm displaying, you know what I mean? Or I kind of wrap my head around it. I go a little Looney Tunes. So I always rotate my display so I never get bored of anything. And it always feels like I'm getting new cards instead of actually just paying too much money for new cards, which is a good thing to do.
I'm pioneering a display technique called hobo chic.
I think you're pioneering it, but you've mastered it for sure.
I accept your praise.
I don't know how you've done it. I don't know how you keep track, man, but I'm so mad. So one time Matt and I were talking and I mentioned a sketch card or something from an artist. He leaned back, grabbed a stack this big and started flipping through it. And I was like, and not like a nobody artist. It was like a big deal. And he just like, I have like 5 or 6 here. And then, but it's funny because Matt's like digital display is super organized. Like you've taken pictures of everything. You've killed it.
I mean, this section is all organized on the shelves. This is the in process.
I swear I'm going to screen grab this and put little squares around here. What's organized and what's not organized.
I even have Pokemon.
Oh my gosh. Beast.
I'll send them to you.
Beast. All right, everybody. This was a lot of fun. Anything before we head off? I really appreciate all of you building up my Cannonball Master character collection. So that's good. That will be on eBay soon, selling for millions and millions of dollars. So I hope you're all excited. But I appreciate you guys doing this with me. Is there any farewell kind of stuff before we start heading off about character collecting, or at least anything we discussed today? Any ideas maybe we didn't touch on or anything like that?
I would say, love to study the checklist. Really look at like the oddities, like maybe autographed cards, case toppers, stuff that try to find images for everything. See if there's group, if your character's in a group. If you want to go down that rabbit hole, if not, then stick to just the character name cards and have fun at it. If it's stressful, then it's probably not.
It's not for
your
you.
thing.
Yeah. It's not your thing. If it's stressful, it's not your thing. But if you're having a good time, then that's the way to go. What about you, Melfi?
Add it to your watch list, go to sleep on it, and then if you still want it in the morning, then you probably want it and it's probably right for you. But if you're just gonna buy it and then have regret over it, it's not worth it. Like you guys said.
Yeah. I love that. That's true. A good 24 hours on the watch list is always good medicine to calm yourself down.
Yeah.
That is a very true thing. I love that. Yeah, this documentary was wonderful, by the way. Thank you, William. Yeah, it's really great stuff. And really puts a lot of stuff that they were doing in perspective, gives you a little history. Matt, final words before we head off?
Marvel cards, baby. No. It was that or Uncle Justin.
I love it. I love it.
No,
You're hanging out with us right now.
Nailed it. Do it for the fun,
Do it for fun.
And if it feels like a job, take a break.
100%. You guys are awesome. Thank you for doing this with me. Check out everybody's Instagram. All the names are there. You can see it. Please follow them if you haven't. I appreciate everybody coming out. Thank you, everybody. I'll talk to you all soon.
Thanks,
Later.
everybody.